I'd like to welcome everyone here this morning at the prestigious launch of the 7th Annual International Garifuna Conference, which is hosted by the Garifuna Heritage Foundation here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This morning's program will be a very straightforward and lovely one. We have a few guests here on our panel this morning who will be giving us some remarks, and at the end of it we will have a cultural piece, a dramology, which should be done by Rocco and Mwata. This morning, without further ado, I would like to welcome our esteemed president of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, Mr. David Darkey Williams, who's a cultural icon in St. Vincent, to give us some remarks.
Good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and let me say a special welcome to the press. Glad to have you. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation plays a very significant role over the years in the official celebrations of National Heroes and Heritage Month. Every year, since the declaration of March as National Heroes Month, the foundation has been having that significant input into those celebrations. And this year would be no different for us. Our program this year consists of 3 main events, and there are some side events as we go along. But the 3 main events would be the annual school Garifuna Folk Festival, and that will take place at Victoria Park, as usual, on the 6th of March, and that's a Friday. Our second significant event would be our exhibition of crafts and artifacts. Under the theme that we have been using for these exhibitions, which is From Orinoco to Exile. And this exhibition covers that period from the indigenous people who came across from the Orinoco River in Venezuela to the Caribbean, not just St. Vincent, but to other Caribbean islands. And then out of that journey, over a number of years, over a couple of centuries, emerged the Garifuna, or the Black Caribs as they were christened by the colonizers. Today we know those persons as the Garifuna, mostly residing in Central America. This exhibition would look at how these people live and some of the artifacts that might have survived through their whole period of existence here in St. Vincent. Our third significant event would be the International Garifuna Conference. That conference takes place at the NIS conference room, and it runs from March 11th to 13th. 3 days of presentations by local, regional, and international organizations and individuals. Over the years, our conference have been blessed by having outstanding academics come from wherever they are in the world to St. Vincent to make presentations that is either directly linked to the Garifuna Heritage and Culture or using the experiences of other cultures, other ethnicities to tell the Garifuna story. But there has always been a link to the Garifuna story by all of these presentations we have had over the last 6 conferences. And this one, the 7th, will be no different. The foundation prides itself in bringing information, in creating awareness, and in educating the Vincentian public. But we don't work alone. Over the last 4 conferences, and this will be the 5th, we have been collaborating with the University of the West Indies, and today we have with us Mrs. Dalrymple, who would speak about the university's involvement and the importance of it, of that involvement to the development. And as we in the foundation say, our program seeks to help to retrieve the lost culture. And there is a link there for the University of the West Indies, and they're here to fill that link during the conference. Other speakers at the head table will look at different aspects of the conference and the celebrations of the 3 events we intend to present. We hope that through our interaction here this morning that more details will come out, more specific details will come out, and we look forward to providing you as best we can with answers. Thank you for coming, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for those lovely remarks. Next on our agenda, we would have some remarks from the representative at the Ministry of Sports, Culture, and the annual Garifuna Folk Festival Committee, Ms. Maxine Browne.
Good morning to everyone. I beg to adopt the protocol already established. Themed Children of Chatouillet, Fruits of Our Heritage. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, will present the 6th National Schools Garifuna Folk Festival on Friday, March 6th, 2020 at the Victoria Park. Who will be involved? Students from the various primary and secondary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be involved. Every year, the attendance and our school's participation has been growing. We started with about 25 schools, and now we're moving outwards in growth. Through larger groups of students from the same schools, better quality of performances or presentations from the schools, and more schools getting on board. So we applaud that. This year we envision about 28 to 30 schools in participation. What are the main objectives of the program? We want our students to know our history, our local history, and how is this achieved? We want to teach our Garifuna heritage to our students. Through arts integration, the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture want to make learning history more fun and exciting. And in showcasing the talents of our students, we take the time to celebrate our rich heritage. In so doing, we allow our students to experience and become aware of our Garifuna cultural heritage. TGHF, the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, continues to contribute to the overall enhancement of our Heroes and Heritage Month, held every year in the month of March. And most of all, the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, including the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, and the Ministry of Education, want to engender national pride regarding our rich cultural heritage. On March 6th, our 6th National Schools Garifuna Festival will take the form of 1. March Past, 2. An exhibition, and 3. A showcase of local talents. In the past, we will have met or gathered at the Bishop College Complex and marched to the street of Kingstown to the Victoria Park. But this year, we've made a change. Now we all meet up at the Victoria Park, and like sports, we'll do a march pass around the compound or the grounds of the Victoria Park. Of course, all dressed in our Garifuna colors, yellow, black, and white. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force will lead the procession, and of course, we always engage the students from the C.W. Prescott Marching Band. They're always on board with us. Activity 1, the March Pass, incorporating our Garifuna colors, our Garifuna fashion. During the March Pass, students will get awards for 1, largest group of students. So schools, take note, the more, the merrier. Come and represent your school as you simultaneously show off your proud Garifuna colors, your yellow, your black, and your white. Most organized group is another category up for grabs during the March Past at the Victoria Park. And in this category, we will particularize things such as best chant, best use of props, a short routine or choreography, and orderliness as you march around the park. So all of the aforementioned criteria will determine who is the most organized group. So be organized. Also, during the March Past, best use of colors, or more so, most creative use of Garifuna colors will highlight areas such as use of yellow, black, and white, yes, all the Garifuna colors in the costume worn, outstanding design of outfits, neatness of outfit, appropriateness, and overall impact. Yes, we love the impact. The colors always look so good. Activity 2. For the festival, each participating school is invited to perform one cultural item, no more than 5 minutes long, surrounding the Garifuna theme or depicting aspects of our Garifuna heritage. We will definitely have a variety of items. There will be dance, both creative folk and traditional folk, theatrical or dramatic presentations, spoken word, monologue, choral speech, poetry, storytelling skits, and of course music, where we have folk songs, your school band, gemology, and other instrumental will be all had at the Victoria Park when you come to see the students showcase their talents. Activity 3, the rewards. It is important to emphasize this festival is not a competition. But as we continually seek to keep our students motivated, and motivation is key, we have invested in some essential awards. Some of these awards include Best Gemology, Most Outstanding Garifuna Dance, Most Outstanding Garifuna Song, Most Outstanding Garifuna Choral Speech, Most Creative Presentation, Best Garifuna Fashion for Students, and yes, Best Garifuna Fashion for Teachers. Yes, this year, teachers, we have included you. You work so hard to prepare the students, and it's now time to showcase your own creativity as you formulate or create your own fashion for the fashion wear we have at the Victoria Park come March 6th. In this segment, we want to bring out your creativity and your fashion style, so to speak, your fashionista style. So once you use your 3 colors and combine them appropriately and be able to showcase them, we'd appreciate that. Yes, teachers, you too can display your fashion on the stage in our Teacher Students Mini Fashion Show as you let the students see you in a different light, fun, participatory, and a welcome change to the strict classroom setting. We want our students to feel comfortable around our teachers, and that's why we have incorporated teacher-student mini fashion show. And the final award of this rewards category is Best Garifuna Themed Overall Presentation. Additionally, based on the number of booths in the exhibition of indigenous craft and artifacts at the Victoria Park, where students bring their history class to us, and where establishments and our community groups bring their display depicting artifacts relating to our Garifuna heritage, our culture. We will also distribute key awards such as Most Outstanding Traditional Booth, Most Outstanding Research Paper, Most Outstanding Oral Presentation, and Most Creative Local Dish. So with 5 more accolades added this year, we will have 15 awards up for grabs, right, Cherise? I must emphasize that the schools have always been supportive of this program, but this year, to the principals of the various schools in SVG, we appeal to you to come out and or send your students out in numbers. Do not only send the performers and the students, send some other students too, to witness the other performances, and we encourage you to stay for the entire package. We would like to support all the performances. In this way, you do not only create an audience, but you get to even learn other skill sets to improve your craft as you observe other students in their performances. And whilst we're at the Victoria Park, as one big happy family, these exposures can assist in making our students well-rounded. And believe me, and the various studies continue to support the fact that learning also takes place outside of the formal classroom setting, so send them out. It is good, clean fun, and they get a chance to learn a little more about our heritage, about our history through the arts. Arts integration is definitely the answer, the way to go to make learning much more fun and exciting. To the general public, we appeal to you to come out and support the youth in this year's 6th National Schools Garifuna Folk Festival on March 6th. Yes, we're rhyming. The 6th on March 6th. The admission is free. So come out and learn more about our Garifuna heritage. And as we call upon you to come out and support this year, we will have in attendance a student from the Michigan State University who will be here on the study abroad program from March 1st to the 7th. And they have planned to come and see the students in performances as they learn a little more about our Garifuna heritage. And we will also have among us Garifuna personnel who will be here for our 7th International Garifuna Conference. We cannot overemphasize how important it is to know our heritage. The Garifuna, or rather, the Garinagu will have lived and existed among us. Let us not be ashamed of who we are. Let us embrace our heritage and support who we are. Let's tell the whole wide world that Garifuna lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Browne. Remarks. Several things that I noted on there that I must hasten to point out or to reiterate. This annual School Garifuna Folk Festival we had at the Victoria Park, March the 6th. I keenly noted that while you started out with 26 schools, which may have seemed small to you, but to me that is a very big thing, and that you have 15 awards going this year. I would hasten to suggest probably adding 16 for maybe next year. But I noticed that you're encouraging teachers. It's always good to have teachers also participating there. And once persons use the yellow, black and white, that they would be eligible to have an award. So maybe the patrons as well, myself and other persons who come out to support the students. Maybe if we wear our Garifuna colors, we would be given something too. Hopefully next year. God willing. All right, thank you again, Ms. Browne. And at this time, we would like to welcome the representative from the University of the West Indies, Open Campus, Ms. Deborah Dalrymple, to give her remarks on behalf of the university. Ms. Dalrymple.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. It is with great pleasure that the UWI Open Campus partners once again with the Garifuna Heritage Foundation to host the 7th Annual International Garifuna Conference and Workshop, March 11 to the 13th, 2020. The university recognizes the yeoman service provided by the Garifuna Heritage Foundation in spite of its very limited financial resources and its dependency on volunteerism. We are proud to be associated with the work of this organization and with these events. The UWI Open Campus in Vincent has declared that one of its objectives is preserving our cultural heritage, and we see this as a major responsibility. The Garifuna and Kalinago cultures form the bedrock on which the African, Indian, Portuguese, British, and any other culture sit. All of these cultures have influenced who we are today, but we do believe that knowledge of the resistance, the survival, and resilience of the Kalinago may impact, indeed shake up, the worldview of Vincentians. We can claim with pride in the legacy left by our indigenous people and eradicate the shame left by colonial action of banishment and eradication of self. At each international conference, the focus is different. Retrieval and research, preservation of cultural sites, including the preservation of the island of Baliso, creating international linkages, and so on. At last year's conference, which explored heritage tourism, we were heartened by the contribution made by the young persons who attended. So even while the themes may vary, the underlying objective remained the same: to enhance awareness of our rich Garifuna culture and inculcate in our people a sense of ownership and pride. In our call for papers, we declare that, and I quote, "The Garifuna people form one of the indigenous nations that has become one of the more important symbols of resistance in the Caribbean, informed and formed as it has been by the history of resistance to European colonial domination." A bold statement, but do we as current Vincentians, descendants of the Kalinago, know this? Are we aware of the position of honor which the Garifuna culture is held, not only by UNESCO and other United Nations bodies, but internationally? We need to better understand why in 2001, UNESCO declared the Garifuna Heritage and Culture a masterpiece of the intangible heritage of humanity, and why the Garifuna language was celebrated in the International Year of Indigenous Languages in 2019. A language still spoken in the diaspora by Garifuna people of Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, but sadly not in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not in Uramain, the incubator of the language. This year's theme, Indigenous Caribbean, rethinking a strategic direction for reviving Garifuna heritage and culture through education, even while continuing to explore the varying dimensions of indigeneity, will take a direct approach towards inclusion of Garifuna culture and heritage in our educational programs. The conference would offer the opportunity to explore, and I quote, the role of government and the private sector in the promotion of formal indigenous education, how the traditional indigenous knowledge and language can influence the development of an education program, and very importantly, look towards teacher training and sensitization and the development of curricula. As we go through the program this morning, you would learn that the conference is itself seated in a larger program which includes a folk festival and an exhibition, as you've already heard. We would especially like to invite personnel in the education sector, teachers, planners, and students to attend the conference and to participate in the other activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dalrymple, for those remarks. I'd also like to thank the university for standing by the GHF over these years. And at this time, we would like to ask the representative from the conference and the workshop committee, Ms. Vanessa, Demirciyan to give us her remarks. I hope I pronounced that.
Demirciyan. Yeah, you were almost there. Thank you. Good morning, all. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation, as it was mentioned, in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Open Campus St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will be hosting the 7th annual International Garifuna Conference from March 11th to 13th, 2020. Under the theme Indigenous Caribbean, Rethinking a Strategic Direction for Reviving Garifuna Heritage and Culture through Education. The conference will include presentations held at the NIS Conference Room and workshops held at the Peace Memorial Hall, and I am pleased this morning to be giving you some information on its program. The opening ceremony will be held on Wednesday, March 11th at 9 a.m. at the NIS Conference Room with an exciting ceremony featuring Dr. Cleve Scott as a keynote speaker. Dr. Scott is a Vincentian-born historian specializing in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He has been teaching in the Department of History at UWI Cave Hill in Barbados for over a decade. He is the author of the official citation for the first national hero, the Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer, and one of his most recent contributions includes several entries for the forthcoming publication on the UNESCO Slave Route project on the Garifuna heritage of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His research interests include the political history of the Windward Islands and the history of analog and digital technologies in Caribbean music industry. The objectives of the conference are to collect information relative to the establishment of the International Garifuna Research Center, IGRC, to develop ways in researching and teaching the Garifuna history, using the Garifuna tradition for tourism use, contribute to the enhancement of the Heroes and Heritage Month, and assist with creating national pride. The conference will resume with panel presentations from 1 p.m. on that same day of March 11th, and it will run until 4 p.m. Then on the 12th and 13th of March, it will begin at 9 and end at 12 p.m. And it will cover topics such as reviving the Garifuna and Kalinago heritage, teaching Garifuna history, heritage tourism and the Garifuna culture, climate change and mobilizing Garifuna and Kalinago indigenous and local knowledge in climate change adaptation in the Caribbean, the Garifuna language and the significance of the UN Declaration of 2019 as the Year of Indigenous Languages, targeting the youth, our next generation, the potential of Garifuna language training for youth, and indigenous knowledge, recognizing the significance of indigenous knowledge in national development. We were very happy with the response to the call of papers that was sent, and presenters. The conference will feature scholars and practitioners delivering presentations on various aspects of the Garifuna culture. They will be traveling to our shores from the Caribbean, from Central America, Canada, Mexico, USA, and the UK. We are looking forward to hearing all these presentations, and we hope to see many people present to get informed, share, and support this event. We are encouraging as many Vincentians, particularly those from indigenous communities, to participate and interact with our visitors. Registrations to attend the conference will be open every day from 8 a.m. and can also be made prior to the event by email at euromeiconference@gmail.com. This year, we are also very happy to include several workshops on the afternoons of Thursday 12th and Friday 13th of March. The workshop will be facilitated by Dr. Niall Finneran and Dr. Christina Welsh, both lecturers at the University of Manchester in England. And we will also be pleased to have the contribution of Ackley Alton, filmmaker from St. Vincent, on utilizing filmmaking to express about and promote heritage, and also of Joan Jack, local pharmacist who recently published a book on the repertory and use of medicinal plants. The workshops, as said, will be taking place at the Peace Memorial Hall and are open to all. It is hoped that the conference will encourage the continuing conversation regarding all aspects of the Garifuna history, language, heritage, and culture, and that many Vincentians will participate in this event, most of all the youth who represent the next generation of this country.
Good day, good morning. Thank you everybody for coming out and for supporting the Garifuna Heritage Foundation as much as you do. I've been silently paying attention to it for years as a young Vincentian, and I think it's very important for the young people to embrace our indigenous culture and, and to celebrate it. And, thank you very much for doing what you've been doing. In 1796, they exiled our way of cooking, dancing, dress. They outlawed every means of expressing our island lifestyle. Our whole way of being was replaced by Europeans. But through archaeological digs, research, we have managed to recover some of our treasures that were taken away from Europe. The Garifuna communities spread along Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua have kept our language, oral traditions, music, and dance alive. In the exhibition to be held at the Peace Memorial Hall, we intend to share some of our precious ancestral memory with the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The items we propose to exhibit will be arranged under the following categories: agriculture, which will feature plants, food, and Garifuna recipes; dance, music, and drums, which would feature different musicians that have kept the stories of the Garifuna alive; language, different books, literature, film, and photography that have been published to explore the Garifuna story. I invite everybody to come out and to, partake in this effort to retrieve our indigenous knowledge. Thank you.
Sometimes when we hear about the Garifuna story, our history, it's somewhat exogenous to us. We don't really connect with it. But to think of it in that way, it was really replaced with the colonial way of things, or the European way of things, as Mr. Otley just said. So that really touched me. So I want to encourage persons out there, the general public, to come out to the conference, to come out to the exhibition and the other parts of the program that has been highlighted so far, to learn about your own culture, your own people, your own heritage. And at this time, we have a cultural package. This is basically in way of Mr. Otley's mention of our culinary past in terms of the food. We have a bit of cultural presentation, our music as well, if we think of it that way, that would have also been exiled. So this morning, as part of our cultural item, our drumology, we have featuring Rocco and Mwata, who will be doing some drawology for us this morning. So let us give them a welcome hand.